Hey guys, it's Rush. BattleOfGlory.com lets you earn real-life money with their World of Tanks tournaments. If you'd like the chance to earn prizes upwards of €250 by playing World of Tanks, sign up with the referral link down in the description. Alrighty, so for today's video, we're going to be reviewing the STG Guard. This is the Tier 8 premium tank that Wargaming released. It's just another premium tank basically, but the STG Guard is... I don't know how to describe it. It's very akin to an Object 416, but a lot of people get the impression that they should be sniping in this tank, and the reality is you can't snipe anymore in this game. So I'm going to be coming at this review from like a stat patterns perspective. I mean, I play this game to increase my stats pretty much. Like, that's what I find fun. So I don't really care about credits. I don't really care about, crew training. As you can see, I've got nearly a 5-skill crew. Those kind of things don't matter to me. So I just play for high damage games effectively. So that's my perspective. If you don't want that perspective, by all means, I get it. But here we are. So when you get the STG Guard, what you get is 390 alpha, 212 pen, about 2000 DPM. I mean, I've got a pretty... almost as fast as you can go as far as DPM. I just have optics instead of vents. So, I mean, really, this is 2000 DPM is about as good as you're going to get with food and BIA and rammer. And that's pretty much the gist of this thing's gun. I mean, 0.3 accuracy, but the aim time and the dispersion are actually really, really bad. So I wouldn't really say it's one of those tanks that you can just sit in the bush and snipe. It can do that, but it's not... That's not the point of a medium tank. The whole point of a medium tank is to be aggressive, to shoot things, to get close. And the 390 alpha and the 212 pen make it really, really easy to do in this vehicle. So that's the gun aspect. Now, in my experience, the armor isn't that great because what happens is, like, how do I describe it? Effectively, you've got a Leopard 1's armor, and this is in practice. This is what... I'm not going to look at the numbers, but basically what happens is if you're trying to side scrape in this vehicle, it's very easy because of the way your turret... Like, your tank is so wide that if you're side scraping, they'll have shots in this normally. So, at a decent angle, right? Because the problem is the side armor is trash. So, for you to be at a decent angle, you have to pull away so far from the cover that you're going to show your front. And that lets you get penned in this thing. So, that's just the way this thing is. So, armor, pretty much meaningless. You can use it, you can side scrape, but it has to be at an angle where you won't even be able to shoot the enemy. So, I mean, it's one of those things that you cannot reliably do in my experience, and so that's just my advice. Now, as far as the mobility and camo goes, I mean, mobility-wise, it's a typical medium. It's not a Leopard 1's mobility, but it is very akin to a 416. So average mobility, I guess you could call it. For camo, you can see 32% with my crew. That's if you're standing still, and then 25% when you're moving. So it's like absolutely amazing considering it's a medium tank. And then with my setup, you can see I gave it optics. I went 447 meters view range. So that's where we're at for the stats of this vehicle. When it comes to the crew, as you can see, I've got, well, here's my commander, BIA, Sixth Sense, Jack of all trades, and then I've got Eagle Eye, which I wouldn't suggest to use Eagle Eye. I was just trying it out. I don't really think it's useful. And then I've got a view range skill. And that's my first 5 skills. For the gunner, it's BIA, repairs, camo, snapshot, and firefighting. That's because, I mean, on this vehicle, it's definitely relevant. You've got your engine at the front, I believe. So, like, it's very foreseeable for this thing to get lit on fire a lot, especially considering I don't have a fire extinguisher. So firefighting is sort of, I would suggest it as like a 5th skill. For the driver, you've got BIA, repairs, safe camo, and then I've got preventative maintenance. That's for like the Russian mediums because their fuel tanks get destroyed a lot, and so preventative maintenance helps with that. And then again, I've got firefighting because Russian mediums get lit on fire a lot. And then for the loader, I've got BIA, safe stowage, repairs, camo, and firefighting. And that's my crew. So, I mean, that's what I would suggest. I mean, you're not going to get a crew for this vehicle specifically, but what I just listed out is pretty much the crew you want on most mediums anyways, especially if you're not going to run a fire extinguisher. So that would be my advice. I've got V-stab, rammer, and optics, and then for ammo, I've got 17 AP, because it is nice to make some credits when you play this thing. And then you've got the 16 APCR, and then I carry 2 HE. Because the caliber of the gun is so large, you can see, like, it's relatively high caliber, 122 millimeters. The HE actually does do something. So I do suggest carrying 1 or 2, but no more than that, because it's probably very likely that you can run out of ammo if you're just doing a wicked carry or something. So, it's always nice to prepare for those epic games. If you have too much HE and you lose like an 8k damage tier 8 game, it's like, poor you, man. So rip. Anyways, that's my setup advice. Let's go take a look at a replay. I'll show you how this thing plays. Alrighty, so for this game we're on the map Stalingrad, standard game. Stalingrad's a very interesting map because there's not a specific role that mediums can take reliably, at least that's what I found. So what I'm going to be doing on Stalingrad is I'm going to be playing d5. Now that's not because I think it's a good play, I was just trying to do something. I want to figure out how to play this map because it's something that everyone has trouble with, so I'm just trying to figure it out as I play. Now, what you're going to notice I'm doing is I'm going to d5. Now I'm going to make this cross relatively quickly. It's safe to do in medium tanks because no one expects it. No one's going to be pre-aimed on you, so I could take that that cross without, expecting to get shot. The E75 was looking away. Now, what you can see me doing is I've come up to this area. I like to get held down here, especially when you're in a relatively low-profile vehicle like the Guard. However, what you're going to notice is I'm not going to rely on taking hits. So I just checked on STG. The turret armor is about 200 millimeters. Like, I would say that's what it's reliable to. It's higher in some areas and lower in some others. Basically 200 millimeters is what you have. So right here, I'm not going to take hits from the E75, but an IS-6 is going to pop up on my right. I am going to notice him on my mini-map, and he's going to shoot at my turret, and that's going to bounce. So right here, you can see we're just camping. Of course, I'm not using my armor to any extent, really. The IS-6 appears. Didn't really expect that. I put a shot into his side. That pens because 212 AP is amazing when you're shooting at tier 8 heavies, and then he bounces, and that's presumably because he hits my turret. Now, right here, I'm going to do something. Now, I'm going to run away, and that's because I've looked at the context of the game. You see the IS-6 has relatively high HP. I'm not going to pen the E75 from the front, even with gold. Like, tier 10 mediums can't do that, so my gold ammo isn't going to be able to do that. And then I also noticed that the IS-3 was on 69 hit points, so I was not going to stay there because there was a high chance of me just getting rushed. So, I left that situation because I didn't want to deal with it. And now you're stuck at this point in time where it's like, okay, well, you're in the middle of the game. No one has died yet. What can you do? So what I'm doing is I'm coming over to here. I don't play here very often. I'm just looking for shots. And then I notice on the mini-map that the T-34 is pushing, and he's going to flank my VK and my IS-3. So a lot of medium tank play, especially mediums that are not predisposed to playing cities, you have to be very opportunistic. So here, a T-34 gives me an opportunity to take advantage of him, and I'm going to do that. You can see we're putting shots into his engine. That's because I want to try to set him on fire, and obviously it's going to work out. So right here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to brawl. Now, at this point in time, this was my second game in the STG. I didn't know how reliable my gun was against the E75, and I was correct in this prediction. I don't expect to be able to pen his lower plate reliably. Now, you can see I was side-scraping there. That was because, like, that side-scrape angle is, you can do that in a Leopard 1, and it'll work. You have to be at such a high angle that they will just auto-bounce your side. So that's what I would suggest if you're trying to side-scrape off of it. You just do it to get people to reload. You can see there he missed. I pen his side, but it's not a very brawling type side scrape. Like I said, you can do that kind of thing in a Leopard 1. So here we are against this T-34. Gonna try side scraping again. You'll notice I was not able to side scrape him and shoot at him, even though my rear mounted turret placement. He actually shot my hull. You can see the mark on the right hand side of it. He penned my hull. So you have to be aware of that when you're playing this thing. So right now we're down 929 HP. I'm going to make an aggressive play because I want to kill the IS-6. I was trying to save the IS-3. You'll notice the IS-3 died, so I'm sort of in this really difficult situation where I would love to kill the IS-6 and then I'll run away, but that's not what is going to happen. Artie kills the IS-6, and now we just have to deal with this RHM. So I'm going to push the RHM. He doesn't know I'm here. You're going to notice I was relatively tentative, but I was also aggressive because I expected him to push into my my teammates. So we're just going to get behind him. He's already shot, and I'm just going to try to get the kill right here, and that's that. So now we're in this, the team is just consistently falling all around you. They pushed up the mid. They're about to win the north if I don't do something. They have won the south. So right now I have to kill this super Pershing and the T-54 lightweight to my side, but I'm going to focus on the super Pershing because, I wasn't actually too worried about it. I'm in a bit of a crossfire right here, but I was just hoping the 54 lightweight wouldn't have noticed me. Now, the ST1 kills the T26E4. I've got an ST1 to my side. We're just trying to kill this 54 lightweight right here, because what I don't want to happen is, if you take a look at the map, they've got like 5 tanks in the south. I don't want them to push into my base while we have a T54 at A4 who will be pestering us as we try to defend the base. So I expect the ST1 to be able to deal with the one-shot T54 lightweight. I'm going to pop up here. I want to try to help out my 1390 and whatnot. So what you're going to see me doing is I'm just camping. Now, this is how you brawl in mediums. You shoot at people who aren't suspecting you. So that was the T30. He was looking away. I was able to get a safe shot into him. And that's the gist of medium tank gameplay when you're in a shitty map like this. So what you're going to see me doing is I'm going to make a bit of an error. I just want to get the first shot off on this guy. I get the first shot, but I'm not quick enough to move away. And so that cost me 359 hit points. I think if he had 750 alpha, he wouldn't have... The 750 alpha gun on the T30 doesn't have the gun handling to reliably snapshot people, at least in my experience. So, you know, that was the play that I was predicating, that like that was the assumption I made when I was playing, that he had 750 alpha. So what you can see me doing here is we're just looking for shots on the VK. Again, it's like we're a tank down in this situation. Now we're 2 tanks down because Artie just killed the Mod 1. No, the Mod 1 killed the Artie, the Type 59 just killed the Pershing, so now we're down 2 tanks and there's 5 of them left. I missed the shot on the VK. That was my fault. This thing has 0.3 accuracy. It's very rarely the game's fault if you're going to miss with 0.3 accuracy on the lower plate of a VK who's 100 meters away. So that's that. You'll see the ST1 is pushing into the VK. I'm trying to pen here. I struggle penning that thing just because I'm bad at this game. You're going to notice I need to kill this VK quickly because there's 2 mediums who are liable to rush me at any second. So my goal is just to kill this guy. I want to free up my ST1 so he can help me out. You can see I take out the VK. Now there's this Type 59 and the Mod 1 who are in front of me. Now I see the 59 YOLOing me. So what I'm going to do is I've got gold loaded here. I'm just going to put a shot into him. I don't know that play that he made, whatever. You'll notice in game, I actually shot at the side of his hull, but in replay it looks like I shot through the wall. That's just a replay glitch. I'm not hacking, I promise. Now what you're going to notice is I'm just flanking the 54 Mod 1. When you're in a situation like we are now, you don't want to let people live because we don't know where the super Pershing is. If we gave the 54 Mod 1 time to get super Pershing support, it could be very, very bad for us because then Artie can move around and what. Like, it's not a good thing. So what you're going to see right now is we're just trying to figure out how to push into the base. I want the ST1 to lead because for all I know, the super Pershing's camping a corner. He's going to hit my engine and set me on fire. And, you know, that happens commonly in Russian vehicles. So I'm letting this guy go first. He's full HP. And really, that's the end of the game. What's going to happen is the super Pershing's AFK. We're going to farm him for like 1,000 damage. We're also going to kill the Artie and then get the Top Gun. And, I mean, that's the game. Let's go take a look at the end plates and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so as you can see, that was a Master Badge, Confederate, High Caliber, Top Gun, and Kamikaze. It's because I ram killed the Artie. I didn't want my Top Gun stolen. You can see 56, 57 damage. That was on the farmed AFK Super Pershing and the Artie. So basically the last couple thousand was cheated, but such is World of Tanks. You can see I ended up profiting 163,000. I got an extra 46 because my clan had like credit boosters or whatever. So 201,000 credits with the credit booster. Without it, I would have got, what is that, 154,000 or something. So that is what you would make normally with a 5,700 damage game, is 154,000 roughly, of course. Spent 27k on ammo. That's because the ammo is about 1,000 per shot. Then when you get to gold, it's about 4,400. So I would honestly, ammo cost doesn't really matter. Some people care a lot about it, but it's such a minute thing. It's unless your shells are like $3,000 for the standard, I don't see why you would care about ammo cost for premium tanks, because it just makes so much credits. The best way to find a premium tank that will make you money is just to play a premium tank that you enjoy and you can play for a significant amount of time. It's not about maximizing the efficiency per game, because if you can't play your premium tank for more than an hour, what's the point of even, like, who cares? Just get a good premium tank that you like. So that's pretty much you know, what you can expect from this vehicle. I'm gonna go take a look at it in the garage and tell you whether or not I think you should get it. Alrighty, so to answer the question on whether or not you should get the STG Guard or any other tier 8 premium tank, I honestly think it's the best option for Russian medium crew trainers. The other alternative that you have basically is the 54 first prototype, and that thing's trash. It's got 190 pen, which is nowhere near acceptable if you're trying to fight tier 10 heavies. So 212 and then like 250 gold pen is a bit more reasonable. I would say the STG Guard is the better pub tank. Personally, I just played my first prototype in strongholds because then I don't have to deal with tier 10 heavies. But if you're looking for a tank to play in public matches and you need a Russian crew trainer, I would get this, but by no means is it like overpowered as a tier 8 medium tank, I would say it does the job, and that's about it. Because the module, damn it, the engine's in the front, like it's just not a very easy tank to play. However, I think it's a better alternative than the first prototype. So that would be what I would suggest if you're trying to get this vehicle. Don't get it for a credit trainer. Like, don't get it if you're trying to grind credits. Get something else like a Super Pershing or something to that effect, because Super Pershing has 190 pen, doesn't see tier 10s, and the armor works against tier 6s, 7s, and 8s. Whereas this, it's not, I wouldn't call it a fun tank to play for hours on end, whereas Super Pershing, you can sort of manage it. So that would just be my advice. I personally wouldn't buy this tank unless I needed a Russian crew trainer, which it's nice to have at least for public games compared to the first prototype. So that would be my advice. Russian crew trainer is really the only role I can see this tank fitting. So yeah, hope this video is helpful. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button, and I hope to see you around. Later, guys. Bye-bye.